Have you ever held a handgun older than your great-grandparents and felt it argue with time and win? That's what we're doing today. I'm talking to you from the firing line with the kind of hard-won respect only long-lived iron commands. These are not trendy toys. These are lifetime handguns, forged to outlast owners, wars, and fashions. They aren't just reliable. They get better with every trigger pull. Subscribe and hit the bell now, because what follows will outlive all of us. First up, number 7, the Ruger GP100. When Ruger rolled this revolver out in 1985, their aim was not novelty. They wanted permanence. Think of it as the shop-built solution to every complaint shooters had barked for decades. The GP100 is a steel slab of a revolver, engineered like a vault with a triple locking cylinder that refuses to let the timing wander. Ruger put a transfer bar safety in the action and cushioned rubber grips to tame recoil for long sessions at the range. It eats 357 Magnum full-power loads for breakfast and chews 38 Special for lunch with the same smile. That full underlug barrel carries weight where it matters, killing muzzle flip before it ever becomes a bother. The frame is dramatically overbuilt. You are not stretching it on hot loads or 1,000-round practice sessions. Gunsmiths, I trust, will tell you the same thing. After 50,000 rounds, a GP100 isn't worn out, it's just getting broken in. Price-wise, expect a standard 4-inch GP100 new for about $700 to $850, with match-grade versions climbing higher. Used examples in excellent condition trade hands for roughly $550 to $700. Worth every dollar? Absolutely. Now slide us into number 6, the Sig Sauer P226. Back in the trials that shaped what became the M9, one pistol stood out in testing. It simply outperformed the competition in measurable ways. That pistol was the Sig Sauer P226. It didn't win the contract on price, but price is not why elite teams chose it. Navy SEALs and other special missions units picked the P226 because it is built from billet steel and milled with surgical precision. Slide rails are machined, not stamped. The barrel is cold hammer forged. Frame inserts are stainless. This is Swiss-German engineering married to American duty specs. The decocker system gives you a safe way to lower the hammer without introducing failure points. There's no magazine disconnect to betray you when it matters. A double-action first shot gives a measured safety margin without making you slow, and the proprietary finish is tougher than traditional chrome at resisting corrosion. Units have kept these in service for decades. After 100,000 rounds, a P226 is often described as merely warmed up. New P2. 26 pistols typically sit in the $900 to $1,100 range. Legion or upgraded variants push into mid to high thousands. Used guns in good shape commonly range $700 to $900. That reputation, earned in blood, sand, and hard training. You want a pistol that survives apocalypse-level neglect and still points true? Listen close. These next entries are the pistols that laugh at mud, ice, and four-wheelers. Number 5. The Glock 19. When Glock scaled down its revolutionary Model 17 in the late 1980s, the result was something that rewired expectations about durability. The Glock 19 is not a museum piece. It is a surgical tool built for the real world. Its genius lies in sheer simplicity. 34 moving parts total. No external safeties to snag. No exposed hammer to bend. No Baroque safety systems to fail. The polymer frame absorbs stress with tiny flexes that save metal from cracking. Inside, replaceable steel rails carry the slide and are built to outlast most users' shooting careers. The barrel is cold hammer forged and holds accuracy through years of service. Finish-wise, the proprietary treatment on the slide resists corrosion and abrasion far better than conventional plating. Military and law enforcement operators routinely report 200,000 plus rounds in service life on properly maintained examples. For pricing, expect a Generation 5 Glock 19 new for about $550 to $650. MOS or optics-ready models climb into the $650 to $750 band. Earlier generations on the used market are an affordable way to buy legendary reliability. Number 4. The Beretta 92 series. Adopted by the United States military as the M9 in 1985, the Beretta 92 proved toughness during the same battery of torture tests that eliminated other contenders. The open-top slide has a purpose beyond looks. It lets debris escape instead of trapping it. The locking block barrel system locks the barrel to the slide, spreading stresses through the assembly, instead of concentrating them in one brittle point. Chrome-lined barrels resist wear and corrosion with near-surgical persistence. The double-action, single-action trigger gives you a heavy, deliberate first pull and crisp follow-up shots. Many variants include a frame-mounted safety that allows for cocked and locked carry if you prefer, and an ambidextrous magazine catch keeps the platform friendly to left-handed shooters. After decades of frontline service across deserts and jungles, the Beretta 92 remains a proven choice for users who want a metal frame pistol with predictable long-term performance. Pricing on modern 92 FS models sits roughly in the $650 to $800 range, while tactical and collector pieces can climb well beyond that. Neither of these two is vintage by age alone, but in utility, they are timeless. The Glock 19 represents a new breed of indestructible simplicity. The Beretta 92 stands for time-tested European engineering and battlefield-proven ergonomics. Next up, we move behind the Iron Curtain to a pistol whose influence is almost impossible to overstate. It reshaped modern handgun geometry and became the blueprint for dozens of later designs. Prepare yourself. That story starts with an inside slide design and a recoil you can manage like a pro. What comes next will make you rethink what a combat pistol should feel like in the hand. What comes next will make you rethink what a combat pistol should feel like in the hand. Here's number 3, the CZ75. Forged behind the Iron Curtain in Czechoslovakia in 1975, this pistol rewired the rules of handgun geometry and left a blueprint every modern designer still borrows from. The CZ75 did something radical. It put the slide inside the frame rails, not on the outside where everyone else had done it. That simple decision drops the bore axis low, and low bore axis equals less muzzle flip and faster follow-up shots. Hold one and it feels like the recoil has been tamed by engineering, not luck. This pistol is all steel, heavy enough to soak recoil like a sponge, but balanced so the weight never fights your grip. The tolerances are hand-fitted, and here is the part shooters who prize longevity swear by. Those tolerances don't loosen with use. They smooth out. The internal frame rails are massive, and that means the interface between slide and frame resists, where the way lesser designs surrender to it. The firing pin block is passive and unobtrusive, preserving a clean trigger feel while keeping safety conservative. Competition shooters discovered the CZ75 first, because its natural pointability and mild recoil turned hard strings into consistent hits. Then special forces units and police teams started showing up in fields and on deployments with them. Reports from units who maintained them for decades describe pistols still serving after 60 years of duty. Accuracy? Expect 2-inch groups at 25 yards from a properly set-up example as the rule, not the exception. On the collector and practical side, a standard CZ75B typically trades in the $600 to $750 band. Competition shadow variants can push well past those prices, and true pre-B vintage pieces command premiums. But this isn't about MSRP. It's about an ironclad design that improves with use. Now step back further in time for number 2, the Browning High Power. This was John Moses Browning's last major handgun design, finished and refined by Dieudonné Sive in Belgium after Browning's passing in 1926. From the mid-30s onward, the Browning High Power became perhaps the most widely issued military pistol in history, second only to the classic single action that dominated earlier conflicts. What made the High Power lethal in service was a mix of innovation and practical capacity. It gave soldiers 13 rounds when many contemporaries offered half that. Its cam lock system simplified mechanics compared to a 1911 platform, while retaining rock-solid reliability. Belgian fit and finish meant these pistols were not just tools. They were precision instruments that handled battlefield grit and climate extremes with stubborn grace. Special units like the SAS carried variants for decades. The Canadians fielded them for 60-plus years. Collectors now prize pre-1970 examples because they were manufactured to standards that later cost-cutting would alter. Prices reflect history. Wartime and early Belgian-made pieces command collectors' money, and rare sight variations spike into serious sums. Both the CZ75 and the Browning High Power teach the same lesson. Longevity is engineered, not accidental. One refines ergonomics and recoil control. The other balances capacity and simplicity into a reliable package that served nations. What's left? The handgun that casts the longest shadow over every combat pistol ever made. When you think of the word classic in pistols, this one owns the definition. In the final chapter, we go there. You won't want to miss it. If there is a single pistol that made the rest of the industry rewrite their manuals, it is this one. Hold on tight. We're at number 1, the Colt 1911. Adopted by the United States Army on March 29, 1911, the Colt 1911 is not merely old, it is the prototype of modern combat pistols. Soldiers named it, fought with it, and refused to replace it when rivals tried. This pistol did not earn its legend in a workshop. It earned it across trenches, islands, and frozen hills. John Moses Browning gave the world a design that married simplicity with unmatched mechanical elegance. Browning's locking system, the tilting barrel lockup, became the skeleton every future semi-automatic combat pistol would copy. The ergonomics fit the human hand the way a tailored glove fits a boxer's fist. And the cartridge? The .45 ACP delivers an authoritative punch that has been measured in stopping power for over a century. Listen, the magic of the Colt. 1911 is not myth. It's craftsmanship you can hear when you rack a slide and feel a crisp, single-action trigger. Pre-1970. Production Colts were forged, hand-fitted, and hand-lapped. Frames were not cast. They were forged from solid steel billets, each slide and barrel mated with hands that knew tolerances by feel. That attention to detail created pistols that do not merely survive, they improve. A 70-year-old Colt 1911 with a history of careful use isn't worn out. Its action wears in. The trigger smooths, the lockup tightens, and the gun becomes an extension of the shooter. Now think about survival. The Colt 1911 left the Philippines, crossed European battlefields, and island-hopped the Pacific. It marched into Korea, bled through Vietnam, and lives on in modern special operations suites. When a soldier was offered a modern replacement and shrugged it off, that told you everything you needed to know. This is not nostalgia. It's empirical preference. Combat-proven performance that generations trusted with their lives. Collectors and competitive shooters both chase eras. A USGI World War II. Colt 1911. In serviceable condition, typically trades for $1,500 to $3,000. Pre-series, 70 commercial models fetch roughly $1,800 to $3,500. High-end national match examples and rare pre-1920 Colts can climb into five-figure territory at specialized auctions. Those numbers reflect history, demand, and a consistent truth. Quality endures. But beyond market value, the real value is cultural. Entire gunsmithing industries exist because builders learned to perfect this platform. Names like Wilson Combat, Les Baer, and Ed Brown are synonymous with turning an already superb pistol into a museum-quality performer that will still put a 1-inch group at 50 yards. These builders didn't invent the 1911. They merely took Browning's canvas and painted with precision. Here's the final, hard truth. You can assemble a box of modern pistols and call it a collection. But without a Colt 1911, that box is incomplete. The 1911 is not just a gun you own. It's a lineage you carry forward. It is steel, craft, and a century of decisions proven right under fire. Which of these pistols do you keep at the ready? Which one sits in your safe waiting for the next generation? Drop your thoughts below. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you respect firearms that earned their reputations the hard way. Buy once, shoot forever.